2, 3.
Hey John, it's Bob here in London. Thanks for doing this project for us. This is really easy to do. It's easy to mess up. You'll know if you've messed up. So let me just show you what the elements are here. First of all, you want your water. It should be all the way at 212 degrees. You have a slightly different pot. You'll put it on 212, and you want to pour this in immediately. Now, this is a grinder. You know, we've had to grind it here. You'll have yours pre-ground. The key is you measure out 22, say 0.5 grams. See a little spare there, 22.5 grams on the scale. And then what you do is you put it into the AeroPress. Now, this is what the AeroPress looks like here, right? There are a couple ways of using it. We use the upside down technique. So you see the two different kinds of bases. You use the narrow base here, put it down like that, and then you're gonna put this base on top of it. Come down here so you're just covering up the black. You'll notice you have this wider base up here. The only mistake you can make is if you get coffee into the edges here, you won't be able to put the top down, and that makes a mess. So I take this here like this, put that into there. I've got all the coffee measured out here, so I'm putting this in. Make sure it's completely in there. This thing really helps. Now at this point, I've got 22.5 grams in there. And what I'll do is imagine that this is a scale. Imagine that this is a scale here. So when I put the grams of coffee in, I can look at the scale, watch it come up 10, 15, 20, 25, 20, 21, 22, 22 and a half or so. So I get all that in. Once that's in, then I pour in the water fairly quickly. Now, when I'm pouring the water in, you'll find that it kind of fills all the way up to the top. And that might not be quite 200 grams because you have zeroed this scale out before you put the water in, so it's 0, and you poured in the water, so it goes up to 200 grams. Now, at this point, you want to just stir it a little bit, as I am like this. The only way you can mess this up is you can actually pour this thing over. I've actually put a little stuff on the side there, so you could spill it. So all I would ask you to do is just be a little careful so you don't burn yourself. Just be very careful with this column. You can keep a hand on it. Once that's in and you've got the 200 milliliters, and if you don't have a scale or whatever, filling this up to the top is almost exactly right, the 200 milliliters. Now I put my top on like this, and again, this is where it can get a little messed up. You see, I can't quite get that on there because I spilled some stuff in there. So this is a key example of how this goes bad. So what I'm going to do is pour a little bit of coffee here, a little water I mean here, a little water there around the edges, because again, that's where it gets messed up. You get a little coffee in there and it doesn't quite fit on. So put the filter back on, making certain that's really tight in there. It's exactly even all the way around. Try one more time. Ah, there. So now that worked. From the second that you have poured this water all the way into the top, you want a stopwatch to go for 2 minutes. As soon as you're at the 2-minute mark, you then take this and you're going to turn this upside down on this cup. If the filter's not in right, it'll spill a little bit. You may have to put the filter back in. I put this upside down like this. And now what I do is I take gentle pressure, not a whole lot of pressure, but gentle firm pressure, and I just press down like this. You get a fairly fine grind. I have to stand up actually. I've got a fairly fine grind, and you're going to push, push, push until you hear a hiss. You're going to push, 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 push. Takes a little while here. And it's all right that this has gone over 2 minutes. I will let it sit for 2 minutes after the last of the water's gone in until I turn it upside down and I do this. And I'm going to just press and press. And again, be careful here that the cup doesn't come down, it doesn't slip, the stuff doesn't go all over the place. Almost to the part here where I can hear the hiss. For whatever reason, this didn't hiss, but it should. And that's it. And then your subject is just ready to drink the cup. I'd love it if they drank 2 to give them a super dose. If you don't want to, that's fine, but there it is, the coffee's ready, and you can just drink it right away. Some of the best coffee ever. When you're done, you know, you undo this like this, and then you can take the coffee and just pour the whole plug out like this. You may want to making a little bit more of a mess. And you want to clean all this off, or take some fresh water to make sure that's all completely cleaned off. And then you can do it again. So again, just to summarize, this small part goes to the bottom like this. This comes up top here. You put 22 grams in, then you immediately put in 200 milliliters of water. Just filling this up is the 200 milliliters. Again, when you put this on, if you spilled any coffee in the margins, it'll be hard to go on. Make certain that filter is completely on there. Come again, seal it like this. Wait for 2 minutes, turn it upside down, push it out slowly until you hear the hiss. It's that simple. You can't mess up in terms of putting the right amount of grams and the right amount of milliliters in, because that's simple chemistry. The only way it can mess up is if you spill this thing over, or the filter isn't quite in right, or you're putting this down, you slip or slide. So try it a couple times and it should be great. Thank you very much for doing this. Over and out from London.